Welcome everyone to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb here today, and we're gonna go through what racism is. And the reason I'm not gonna be on by the way, you can visit us at charlesgraham.com, and we're on all the platforms for podcast. And I'm going to go out on a limb today, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to explain to you what racism is. And I'm white. But it's really simple. It's not hard. It's not critical race theory. It's not if you're white, you're racist. That whole critical race theory shit is exactly that, shit. White rage, shit. You want to talk to some people that's experienced racism? Well, there are people still alive today in Mississippi that's experienced it, or their ancestors has. And from what I can tell, they think critical race theory is shit. It's nothing but racism. You want to know if somebody's racist or not? It doesn't mean that they prefer black women over white, or white over Pepsi over Coke, or whether or not they use the word or the N word. I'll acronym it for YouTube, even though it should be free speech. Or the C word, which is cracker if you're a black person saying that shit to a white person. I mean, it's the, black man's N-word. But nobody gives a shit about that, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll just explain to you what racism is. Do you hate somebody for the color of their skin? Do you truly hate them? That's racist. That's racism. If you drive by and you see a black man that has wrecked his car and you've got to wade off into a swamp to help him out, and you won't because he's black, then you're a racist. Not because you use the N-word, not because you use the C word, but if you look at someone and you despise them for no other reason than the color of their skin, you're a fucking racist. I don't give a shit if you're black or if you're white. If you look at someone and you despise them for the fucking color of their skin and you wouldn't help them out because of that, you are a fucking racist. Period. Now, if that offends you, I don't care. Because you're a racist. I'll tell you this. Just because someone spouts stuff or says stuff or whatever, that doesn't get to the heart of what people actually feel. What determines the character of a man is how they react in a really extreme circumstance. And you see that when it comes to tragedies, and you see that when you have earthquakes, and you see people coming together. You can tell who's racist and who's not, or who's a coward and who's not. That's very evident when you're talking about the character of a person. Well, like I said before, I wrote a paper in college on the letter from Birmingham jail by Martin Luther King. And it's a great letter. It's an informative letter. And I wrote a paper on it. So, but it's that simple, people. Just because you say something or you spout off something in anger that doesn't make you a racist. And just because you're black or if you're white doesn't make you a racist. You know who the racist is? The author of the critical race theory is a fucking racist. He is. And all I can say is this. Society needs to rethink this, because I'm telling you, you're going down the wrong road and you're not going to like the outcome to it. I'm not going to apologize for being white, and if that offends you, fuck off. I don't care. I like being white. And you should like being black, because that's how God made you. Or Asian. Or Hispanic. You are who you are. You are as God made you. And I'm not going to apologize for it at all. And again, if that offends you, I don't care. So the bottom line is this. It's very simple. It's not hard to comprehend, people. Segregation is not the answer. Selective segregation is not the answer. Looking at someone and saying, you owe me because you are white and have oppressed me. I haven't oppressed any damn body. I tell you what, I've experienced what it means not to be able to get something because you're white. Black people today and minorities today have more opportunity than your average white. And if you don't believe me, try to go get a loan. They have minority loans there. If the banker says they don't, they're full of shit. They do. Not for white people, because we're not a minority. But they have them for minorities, especially if you're a minority woman. Then you really can start a business. You wouldn't be for all this economic oppression that's going on right now by giving away money that is going to shoot up inflation. You wouldn't be for this if you had any concept of economics. So I'm not going to get into COVID and what it did to the country. I'm just going to say that if you hate someone because of the color of their skin, you are a racist. Period. Two things happen. If you drive by and you see somebody that is about to burn up in a car and you don't risk your life to save them, you're one of the two things. You're either a racist or a coward. One of the two. So, there it is. And I'll tell you, some people don't need to be police officers, just like some people don't need to be soldiers. Some people just don't have it. And they just don't. So, without further ado, I'm going to roll credits on this chick flick. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you don't, don't. But I'm going to tell you the truth. And it's not my opinion, it's the truth. If you hate someone for nothing more than being black or white, you're a racist. And that's the definition. Not this nuances and he said this word and this, that, and the other, and he and blah, blah, blah. None of that shit matters. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you won't know who a racist is just because someone pines at you and pats you on the head and says, oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Joe Biden, I would suspect you would be shocked to know the truth of whether or not he's a racist. I suspect you would be shocked. So let me just say this. If ask yourself that question. If you drove by and you had to risk your life to save someone that was a different race than you, would you? And then you have to ask yourself, if the answer is no, are you racist or are you just a coward? Now, sometimes you wouldn't jump in to save someone, not because you're a racist or a coward. It's because it would be pointless. It's such an egregious situation that you would have no success of saving them or surviving yourself. Now, that I can understand. There's those situations too. Let's take into account that. Well, guys, I'm under the weather today, so I'm not going to put a picture or anything up. And I'll see you on the next video. See you later. Bye.